Is lucid dreaming, how do we lucid dream, and is it beneficial to us?
We think that the benefits of the idea of lucid dreaming is that it will teach the practitioner how to more take control and navigate when it is they are awake, so to speak, in non-dream time, in non-sleep time. It is a consciousness exercise that can be valuable during what you call dream time, sleep time, because the daily living is not distractive or in the way, and a lot of the limiting beliefs aren't there, though some are, but a lot of them are not there during dream time. As people well know, they dream the oddest of things and they have the strangest of abilities during their dream times. But as we like to point out and remind people that wakeful time is a form of dreaming as well, because life exists inside the consciousness, and the consciousness is making it up as it goes along, no matter how real it feels in the physical realm. In lucid dreaming, in sleep time, there is not the physical restrictions that are there, purposely there, in wake time, in waking time. So there are more opportunities to really, really learn how to control and create one's reality whilst not having the limiting beliefs and physical density holding one back. So the purpose would be that one can bring that lucid ability into their waking life, and suddenly remember that this too is a dream that can be reorganized, restructured, and recreated by conscious focus.
How do we practice lucid dreaming? Like, how do we do it?
You can practice lucid dreaming in the sense by setting intentions before you go to sleep and giving yourself markers that you can recognize in your dream time so as to trigger the consciousness to realize that it is now free of physical limit and it can create what it is it wishes. But you can also practice this during your wake time, really by doing a very similar thing and not just taking it for granted or being convinced or complacent in the fact that someone else is running reality when they really are not. We do understand the connection to the collective consciousness and what is known as the collective consensus. But you are, just like in lucid dreaming, you are the controller and the driver and the creator of your life and how you see it.
Within the limits of perceived mortality.
Well, again, as we say, there are purposeful limits to physical reality so as to experience a physical reality from birth to death. And in lucid dreaming, there is more freedom in the sense that that is not necessarily structured in a way that you can die in the dream, you can get back up again and walk, but that is what really does happen in physical reality, though it will look different because of the changing of realities. But one of the things we would like to point out is that lucid dreaming becomes far easier and more purposeful if one is able to have some control over your waking time thought processes, and that you can be just like you would in the dream. You may be walking in the dream, you may be walking down a pathway, and you want the pathway to change into a forest, so you change it with your mind in the dream with no limits. We would like that to be known, that that too is a possibility in waking time. They're not necessarily relevant to your soul plan, so it may not happen in your waking time.
So it's like a train.
You have that same power of creation.
It's like a place to train, like a training ground.
Yes, that's how we would share that is the purpose or the use of it, that so that you can unlimit yourself.
And then when we wake up,
without the possibility of, say, a physical repercussions, so to say.
And then when we wake up in this reality, and we realize this was a training ground, when we cross over to the next one.
Yes, this is the training ground that is not realized as such when one is awake in it, because of the structure of your society has conditioned the person to completely lose their power of creation, their power of knowledge, that this is not a solid set reality controlled by authorities or governments. So in dream time you can be free of those structures instantly, but when you come back to wake time you can also free yourself of those beliefs, because those structures only exist because of your belief. So it is purposeful in the sense that it can show you that you do not have to limit your beliefs. You do not have to limit what you think can happen and what life can be like. But at the same time, you are learning, perhaps in dream time, where you do not harm another, so that you can come back to what we would call waking time and learn to recreate or create your reality consciously without harming another, so that you are very aware of cause and effect, because that is one of the physical laws, so to speak, in the physical realm that does not exist in the dreaming realm, and it does not exist in non-physical realms, for instance, because beings have moved beyond the need or the lack of awareness that would indeed create harm to another. So manifestation can be far quicker and unlimited because the person is in full control of their creative ability. So it is, yes, like a practice ground with far less limits and the ability to bring back to the waking time the same creative power with the knowledge and with the feeling of connection to others and to source that may not be felt during dream time, but it also is to show the dream time can be free of limits, and so can wake time. So that you can notice the difference between the two, because when you notice yourself dreaming, it shows that reality is not structured the way that you believe it to be when you are in your waking time.
And I've noticed that we carry over pain sometimes. Like I'll have a physical sensation in my dream, and then I'll wake up with that same physical sensation in this reality.
Yes, because you are still fully connected, or the pain has reconnected you to your physical body.
But I feel it in the dream too, whether it's pleasure or pain, or maybe feeling rain or touching something. I can wake up with that feeling, or that sore muscle, or whatever.
Yes, yes. So what we would like to share with this in mind of waking time and dreaming time, the whole of reality is set up in a way, the whole of physical reality, by other parts of yourself that may be the dreamers, so to speak. So you are always in one form of a dream or another, using the density in physical reality to give you the experiences that are not available in the non-physical realms. And I think that this is something that is not taught by your authorities and your systems, but it is something that is very powerful in releasing yourself from the belief of those systems, that you really are having, or you really are the result of your consciousness dreaming you awake in physical reality, dreaming you into being. So when things happen in the physical reality, they are there to be felt and experienced as if real. There is a relevance in that, but they are not to be anchored to or to be taken seriously when they are feeling detrimental to your well-being or your growth. They can be let go of instantly, because you are being dreamed by your consciousness in a higher vibrational realm. Though that doesn't necessarily give relief, it can bring in relief in the sense that it is no more serious than your dream, though it is a very relevant and sought after experience. So it is going in line with, you are not your body. You are using the body as an avatar to have physical experience. So therefore you are not your emotions. You're just here to feel them, to see what they feel like, as a reference point. And emotions are basically a guidance system that moves you towards what it is that is in preference for you. And the negative emotions are here to show you density and darkness. And the positive emotions are felt because of the negative emotions. The positive ones would not be recognized as positive if there wasn't a negative. sense.
Yes, thank you.